What's up, guys? I'm the Eastcoaster fan. I'm back at Hersheypark again today. It is freezing, but I'm here for Eastcoaster. This is an interesting event. I've never really been to an ACE event like this before, where it's like more so presentation. It's not going to be riding anything, but we're going to be hearing hopefully from a bunch of parks and their marketing departments about some updates going on this winter. I'm also here, he's over here, with Michael Blue Diamond Coasters, and we're going to be here just watching all the presentations today, and hopefully we get some exciting news that we could talk about with you guys. But anyway, it's really cold, so let's head on in. Made into Hersheypark now. We're following the signs to the Music Box Theater where Eastcoaster is going to be taking place. Yesterday we were here for the Wildcat construction tour, and we actually went that way. So now we're going to be exploring some of the park off season this way. And there's a car driving through the park right now, which is pretty weird.
I'm having a great adventure when I was there super early. A car like drove right by me when I was going through the boardwalk section. They should do Mario Kart races here.
They should. Here now inside the Music Box Theater. I've actually never been in here before, and it's not bad looking. So there's a few setups going on here. The presentations actually don't start until around 10, and it's 9 right now. So we have a bit and we'll grab our seats. But when I came in, they gave us an Eastcoaster button as well as just a pamphlet of things and the lanyard again. Funny enough, we didn't get to keep the lanyard and that pass from yesterday. So I'm glad I got another one today, and hopefully I could keep it this time. Before we do explore some of the later booths, we did pick our seats. We're right by the front, which is great. That's what we wanted. And then we also got our card. On the back of it, it's upside down. On the back of it shows the entire schedule for today. So 9 to 10 right now is the social hour, and presentations are going to start at 10, like I said before, starting with Hershey, Deno's, that's a big surprise, Dorney, GCI, and Dollywood. I'm surprised Dollywood's on that list because that's not really in this area. So yeah, that's cool. Lunch is from 12:30 to 2. It's actually 2:30. And then me and Michael both got the Group B. So they actually split it up, Group A and B for lunch. Group A is 12:30 to 1:30, and then 1:30 to 2:30. So that latter half is us. So then from 2 to 6 is going to be Ace, Fiesta, Texas. That's very surprising. Sesame Place, Dutch Wonderland, Knoebels, Pete, Barto. I'm not sure what that is. And PTC to end off the event. And then probably throughout it, it's going to be like a bunch of smaller breaks, like for a bathroom and stuff, and we could talk, and yeah, it should be fun. But now that we're done, let's explore the booths. Right at the front of the stage, right where the screen is, they have all these things up here. I'm not sure if this is for auction or just to give away, but I'll show you some of the cool stuff that I found. They have some banners here from Dorney Park, including Cedar Creek Flyers and Thunderhawk, Wild Water Kingdom 2. And then I'm gonna go around these people to show you some other stuff. A few other pieces of merchandise. They have cups. They have a hard hat from CoasterCon 43, which is really neat. Over here, a few more shirts, patches. They have, I think it's a brochure for Busch Gardens Tampa, the Dark Continent, which is really cool to see. Yeah, mainly like shirts, merchandise. Over here is actually a working CDX car, so you push the button and then this actually works. You can see it go up and complete the course. Really neat. Here we have a store basically, so they have a bunch of Amusement Today magazines as well as some other things over here that you could actually purchase. These aren't for auction, you could just grab it and get it. Over here they have Wildcat, of course, a really big print of it, as well as a few other pictures. Is this a mouse pad? Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, mouse pad.
Yeah, Michael decided to get these two prints of Skyrush and Velocicoaster. Really cool. You said they're $10 each?
Yeah.
Not bad.
We got coasters on coasters.
We have a bottle openers, which I'll probably need soon, as well as some glass ornaments, cups, mugs, more prints down there. Really cool. Here's the silent auction. A few interesting things. Here are some side panels for Kingdom Coaster. A few, I think these are like chain dogs or whatever, for a few wooden coasters. Like this one. This is Timberwolf. We have a Maurice Pierce wheel for their Wild Mouse. Let's see, a few PTC things, a freaking restraint from Kingdom Coaster, which is really neat. Over there's a bunch of VHS tapes, just parks in general. A few more bits of merchandise here. I survived Possessed. That's very funny. Yeah, and just a bunch of shirts and cups. Really cool. Here's a few park maps and stuff like that. Really neat if you're a map collector. A few buttons. And then over here, this caught my interest right away. You can see both a Hydra and a freaking Mr. Six plush. I'm not sure if it can actually do the dance that Mr. Six can actually do, but that's really cool to see. One last thing I'll point out before the presentation starts, they actually have a piece of the Wildcat track here. I'm not sure if it's going to be auctioned off because there's no slip here right now, but it's cool that it's here and you can touch it if you really want to. Presentations are going to be starting soon, so we're back in our seats. And the only thing I bought, I ended up caving in, and now I'm the owner of the Mr. Six puppet marionette thing. Not bad, it was like $15, which is a very reasonable price for that. And you guys know I'm a big Mr. Six fan, so I'm really happy to now be the owner of that. You got a lot more than I did.
Yeah, so I got a Batman the Ride shirt from I think like the 90s. It's not like specific to a park, it's generic. And I also got a few prints over here for Skyrush and Velocicoaster.
Don't forget the bag.
Oh yeah, he threw it into like a Loch Ness Monster 40th anniversary bag.
Please take your seat. We're about to begin. Please take your seat. Hello, welcome back to Eastcoaster.
Yay!
No, wait a minute, you can do better than that. Welcome back to Eastcoaster 2023.
Yeah!
Who here has missed Eastcoaster as much as Derek and I? I know, right? Your life has just been empty every February, except for Valentine's Day. Derek, how you doing? How was your trip to Australia?
It was good, but I'm not sure where I'm at the moment. I know it's 2023.
What day is it though? Because they're like a day behind us or a day before
They were a
us?
day ahead.
Yeah, so it's Sunday.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. I was going to ask you who won the Super Bowl, but that's next week.
Well, I should be at church then if it's Sunday.
It has been a long time since we are all joined here together, ironically. It was just before the world kind of shut down, and we were able to somehow sneak it in, so kudos to us. We tried to do it last year, but COVID had other things in mind, but we're glad to have everybody back again this year. In 2020, we made the decision that we wanted to kind of showcase CoasterCon and put all of our parks that were going to be representing CoasterCon in 2020 all together at the end as kind of a grand finale, which sounded great. And then we did that, and then a global pandemic hit. And I don't want to say that I was responsible for the global pandemic because moving Hersheypark from their first spot to fourth from last kind of interrupted that overall flow of the world. It's like the butterfly effect, if you're familiar with that. So, in order to right the world, we are going to make sure that Hersheypark, once again, goes first here at Eastcoaster. So please welcome Quinn and Amanda from Hersheypark.
We are so excited to see all of your smiling faces back here at the sweetest place on earth. This is one of our favorite events. We don't know what to do with ourselves in February without it. I'm sorry that we couldn't arrange warmer weather for you yesterday, but we were so glad to give you a sneak peek at Wildcats Revenge, which we are so excited about. So as you guys know, probably better than we do, this will be our first hybrid here at Hersheypark and the first RMC here in Pennsylvania. But before we talk all the exciting things we have for this year, quick show of hands, how many of you visited us in 2022? Thank you so much. It is because of you that we had one of our biggest years ever. The Hersheypark skyline definitely got a lot brighter Memorial Day weekend of last year when we introduced Jolly Rancher Remix, which was our reimagined boomerang coaster. So show of hands, how many of you have been on that? Forwards and backwards, excellent. I hope you agree it really breathed new energy into that space, the colors, the scents, the lights, and it is open all 4 seasons. So what's great about that is that we continue to experiment and add things. So for example, spooky music at Halloween, as well as some great light packages for Christmas Candy Lane as well. So speaking of our seasonal events, how many of you were at Dark Nights this past year?
Yeah.
Yes, that is exactly the reaction we wanted. And Brad, we know why you were especially excited. You were scaring me probably as I went through the houses. So in 2022, we invested a significant amount into our seasonal attractions, the most we've ever done for our Halloween event. We definitely learned a lot, but we were so excited with our inaugural year of Dark Nights. And so we're excited to announce that it'll be back this fall and we will expand it. So we're gonna add more Fridays to the mix and maybe a few other surprises, so stay tuned. Was it just me or was RMC the worst kept secret? I know. But we're excited to be able to share a few more details for you. So it was November 2nd that we finally let the cat out of the bag, pun intended, and kind of shared what we are adding to the park for next year. Sorry, for this year. I'm like Derek, I still don't know what year I'm in. So if you didn't see our announcement earlier this week, we are excited to offer you more operating days than ever before at Hersheypark. It's our 117th season. So if you've been anxious to get back to coaster riding, we'd love to see you back here on opening day, which is April 1st. Hopefully it's a little warmer than it is today. So a few other things that we're excited about. I cannot believe that it has been since we were gearing up to open Chocolatetown, since we had the pleasure of having you all here. And so that region is so important to us as a company because it was our largest investment ever, but it really tells the story of our founder, Milton Hershey, and how he loved to bring people together for fun and happiness and of course chocolate. So if you haven't spent some time in that space recently, we'd love for you to take a look at it. Our core purpose continues to drive everything we do. And so it's really important for us that even as we continue to add new things, we are honoring our history and his legacy. We really believe, and we hope you agree, that when we add Wildcats Revenge to our lineup, we will have one of the most iconic coaster collections anywhere, and actually the most coasters in the Northeast. So thank you to Ace for always being so supportive of all of our rides and our announcements, because we're excited to share some more details with you today. So I think most of you probably know Wildcat has a unique history here at Hersheypark. So the Wildcat was the first roller coaster we ever had here, purchased by Mr. Hershey himself in 1923. It was added to the park. And of course, it was constructed by none other than the Philadelphia Toboggan Company. Yes. And I would also be remiss if I didn't pause to acknowledge that we were so honored to have the first coaster ever constructed by GCI in our park from 1996 to 2022. So how lucky are we here in Pennsylvania to have both of those iconic ride manufacturers? And so again, what I said earlier, we honor our history by bringing it back, and that's exactly what we're doing with Wildcats Revenge. And then if you were brave enough to come out with us on the tour yesterday, you got to see how the coaster station is coming together. You may not realize that the design is actually going back to what it looked like in 1923. So the low gable pitches there, and of course the red roof. So Mike, I'm so upset that you can't see our gorgeous red track. But so this is a photo of what the original station looked like. So again, that is what our design and construction services team is so good at, finding little ways to incorporate our history. So we'll continue to tell that story through some of our social media content upcoming. So we could tell you about all the amazing things about our coaster, but it might be easier to show you. So here's the video that we shared when we announced. wait, we think. And in a word, we all feel like this coaster is going to be badass. And that's also how I describe my amazing colleague Amanda. So I'll let her cover off on some of the ride elements before we have another surprise for you.
Quinn, I don't know how I'm supposed to follow up on that. What an introduction. So as you saw in the video, riders will experience the very best of both wood and steel with this coaster. And we wanted to share this slide with you just to give you an example of what the previous Wildcat had to offer and what Wildcat's Revenge will offer. And this photo here, which I know many of you were out at the construction site, I'll actually be showing some construction photos shortly, is of our world's largest underflip. And this is a one-of-a-kind RMC inversion. It begins with an upward climb, followed by a counterclockwise 270-degree roll and a dive down toward the side. And it is the tallest underflip ever fabricated by RMC and the longest one measured by track length. So just looking at this photo, by a raise of hands, how many people are excited to experience this? Love it. Little sound effects there. So this ride will be open to guests of a Hershey's height category, so it's 48 inches or taller. One of the things we're really excited about with this coaster is we will be offering 3 custom trains. So in November, we had unveiled this train design at IAPA. And what I think is really cool is the design inspiration that went into the images that you see up here. So we really took the idea of having a Wildcat exacting revenge on the wooden predecessor on the original Wildcat. And you can see this in the custom theme of the trains. And the thematic elements are designed first for Hersheypark. So that's something that we're really excited to offer our guests this coming year. As you can see, the one on the right-hand side is the start of the world's largest underflip. So the bottom where the red track is, that will then come up and make the roll. And here is another behind the scenes photo, actually 2 behind the scenes photos that we did not share of the world's largest underflip construction. There's about 30 RMC team members on site. They're incredible. They work through all different types of weather elements. So you can see some of them here in the bottom of the photo. And then the world's largest underflip was recently completed for construction. These photos we had shared on social media just a couple of weeks ago. As you can see, there's still a crane in one of them. They were finishing the rest of the track coming down around the corner. And then just recently, we had snowfall here in central Pennsylvania, and our team said we have to go out to the site to get some photos. How pretty does that look? We're really excited about that. So we posted these on social media just to give everyone another unique view of the coaster. So as Quinn had mentioned, we know how supportive everyone is and how excited everyone is for Wildcat's Revenge opening. So outside of our company and our team members, we've been getting a ton of questions about the full on-ride POV. So we thought, what better group to get a first look at it before we post it on our social media channels a little bit later this morning. So you guys are gonna get the first peek at our full on-ride POV of Wildcat's Revenge when we hopefully are able to pull it up for you.
I would like to pretend that this was planned, but it was not. I had it ready. Let me grab it out of my bag.
It's worth the wait.
Any questions while we get this going again?
Yes.
I have 2 questions. One is about the truss. Was that always part of the plan, or were you guys trying to incorporate the original lift hill?
So the fact that the original lift hill became the world's largest underflip, yes. So that's something that our team and RMC worked closely with to determine, how we could utilize that. And I know many of you have been up to the beautiful view from the school as well as the gardens, and it completely changes the skyline of Hersheypark, and we haven't even built the lift hill yet. So we're really excited to pull that element in and forever change what that view looks like. So you said you had a second question?
Yeah. What's gonna be the locker policies, and will there be metal detectors?
So we're happy to share the full details closer to when we open, but of course, given the 4 inversions, no loose articles at all. So we're going to have that loading station, as you've probably seen in other coasters. So nothing in pockets, all that will be emptied out into our free lockers before you load.
There will not be metal detectors. 3 lockers.
That gets me applause. Yes, sir, up front. Wearing the beautiful
Yeah.
sweatshirt. That
It's
is
a
not
great
fit.
sweater.
Yeah.
Question: Will Wildcats Revenge get a nano coaster and or a cutout?
Stay tuned.
Hmm.
I know.
So
Like
you're
when I
saying
say
there's a
that,
chance?
we
I
to
gotta
go
have the
out,
full
I'm excited.
set, so.
Are you ready? Yeah. All right. Take it away, Nate.
Wow. Wow.
So we hope you're even more excited after seeing that. And again, we think so highly of our Ace fans that we want to share that with you first. But it will be posted on social momentarily. So shameless plug, go ahead and share that with your friends who want to come from all over the place. We are using the hashtag Wildcats Revenge as you share. So
The next park occupies 1.3 acres of land in one of the world's largest metropolitan areas. However, they're doing many wonderful things in a small chunk of land. And to tell you about all the great things that they are doing, have done, and will continue to do is, I believe, third generation owner, is that correct? Yes, third generation owner, DJ Deno Vidoris from Deno's Wonder Wheel Park.
Yeah.
1, 2. Wow, look at this. I didn't know we had 1.3 acres. We have that much? I don't know. We were drinking. Maybe it was 5. Oh, thank you. Hi, everybody. Let me
Whoa.
see if I can. Oh, all right. Look at that. Okay. Up and down. We got it. So, thanks for having me. I mean, I can't believe I'm here with all of you and all these great parks, even though we only have 1.3 acres. That much. But before I say anything, the most important thing that I want to say is thank you to all of you, to all the other parks here. I'm honored to be here. I feel like I'm hanging out with a bunch of friends. Ace and people like you give us, the parks, like a will to do what we do. You know, you give us feedback, you give us support, and without that support, work would not be so much fun. So I'm going to talk today. I'll talk about whatever you guys want me to talk about. I'm going to just try to breeze through this quickly. It's about like, hey, how do you build a coaster? Because I didn't know how to build a coaster. I don't know what I'm doing. A lot of YouTube videos, but I honestly, how we started this whole process is I asked you guys, you know, you go to the authority, like, I went on the subreddit for roller coasters and said, hey, if you had a Ferris wheel that had swinging cars and like half an acre of land, what would you put there? Anyway, so that's how this all started. We hit IAPA hard in 2018. And I took all our measurements. This is the newly acquired land that we hadn't purchased yet, but we ended up purchasing during the pandemic. But this is what we were thinking about purchasing. I came with this CAD file to IAPA. I said, hey, variety manufacturers, what can you build here? So First, because obviously you guys recommended RMC first. Should have known that. But it actually worked out pretty well because we had 265 feet here. Our lot was we had 265 feet on our lot. The RMC Raptor was 263 feet. So it was like a perfect fit. It was like God sent it to us. So I have to thank Six Flags Fiesta, Texas. We went over there, we rode Wonderland, we talked to their maintenance staff. They were awesome. Jeffrey was awesome, which I'm sure you all know. But anyway, long story short, we had this planned walkway that the city of New York insisted, even though we own the land, they insisted on this walkway as part of their plan. So we couldn't really get it to fit. So that one didn't work out. Then we went to Vekoma. Vekoma had the off-the-shelf SFC. It would have required a lot of maneuvering, but we were able to shoehorn it into the space. But again, planned walkway didn't work out. We went with a custom Vekoma. Here was one option. I'm gonna show you, I don't know if I'm allowed to show you guys this stuff. I wasn't here. I don't know where you found this stuff. But we ended up, this design was great, but New York City's weird. We had to go over technically two different lots. It could have been done, but it would have required years of whatever. So we're like, oh, we don't want to go through that. So, here's another cool thing that I'm not supposed to show you. We were thinking about a boomerang.
Wow.
So this is a family boomerang, and we were going to theme it after the New York City subway. Again, it would have worked with the planned walkway here, and we were going to put a subway car sticking out here.
Wow.
And as it went up the second spike, this subway car would have been on like animatronics. It would have went like beep the horn, and you have the near miss. It would have been really cool.
Oh my God.
So I actually did a No Limits video, sent it to Vekoma. They got excited about it, and they sent us this rendering like, hey, look, it works. You should do it. But long story short, we're like, after talking to all of you, your fault again, we went with the SFC. So we found a design, we tightened the turns, and we actually had a lot of back and forth. These turns ended up getting a little tighter than they actually are in this rendering. So color choices, we just like put in different colors to try to see what we would like. That would have been the polar bear coaster. But picking colors, you basically get a chart, you have to sign off on it. I'm gonna breeze through this fast in case you guys want any dirt on anything, just ask me, I'll tell you anything. They can't fire me, I'm family, and I know the Wi-Fi passwords. But, so here's a No Limits video. We wanted to see how it would look next to the Wonder Wheel, which is our signature attraction, which actually, now that I'm thinking about it, we had the first steel coaster in 1920. There you go. Eat that, Disney. And so here's that walkway. So what you do before all said and done, we take that design, we put it into a CAD file, we make sure we're not gonna hit any light poles, any existing structures. We make sure our clearances are good. This is that planned walkway that the city wanted. We had to prove to them that they had enough room for a fire truck or whatever access they wanted to put in with the right envelope. Worst case scenario, this is their right envelope. So one thing we wanted to make sure we didn't hit with the coaster is the Wonder Wheel. So this is a drone scan. They sent up a drone, our surveyor sent up a drone and did a laser scan of the wheel from the air. We did a laser scan from the ground. And then we made sure that we had enough clearance. Now, we didn't have the gondolas on when we did the scan. We knew, but it wouldn't have paid to put the gondolas on. We knew the gondolas were 9.5 feet, so we figured worst case angle here, we had 9.5 feet to that, we still had plenty of room. Great, everything works out. We're good to go. CAD file to make sure how much fencing we would need. Everything needs to be planned well in advance. Once everything is good, Vekoma sends the station design over, or the ride manufacturer sends the station design. We figure out where we have to run our lines, where we have to put our fences, underneath the structure, what room we're gonna have, trenches. We found out that there was gonna be a near miss at the station that would have hit the station. So we had to plan for that. We had to put a little edge here. Again, all stuff that you do well before you start building, just so you don't have whoops moments later. So once all that's said and done, you put your deposit down, start building tracks. So I'm just gonna breeze through some of these real quick, because I geeked out when they sent them to me, so I figured you guys would a little bit too. Painted track, columns. So we're gonna talk about these before. These are for the anchor bolts. Train being built. Hangers for the train because it's a suspended coaster. That's the hanger being welded by a robot. Locking cylinders, there's 2 for redundancy. That's pretty standard. And construction. First delivery, that's me, my father, and my brother. Again, we're talking, this is the beginning of 2020. We're like deep into COVID. Anchor bolts. So one cool thing that I thought was awesome that I didn't know that I learned about is this tape here. So all this stuff gets encased in concrete, right? And these bolts stick up and the columns attached to these bolts. So I asked the manufacturer, what's up with the tape? Why do we have to put on tape? Which we noticed the contractor was just putting them in the ground, like without the tape. Got to check everybody. But they said when you tighten these bolts tend to stretch. And if this stretch is within concrete, there's a chance that you can crack the concrete. So what happens is when these bolts stretch, it'll slip through the tape and the concrete will, I thought that was awesome. So I wanted to share that. Oh, worst thing, big problem, let's see if this plays.
Ready? Yep.
Okay, so we're now we're in the Stranger Things, we're in the upside down. But you still get the idea, we got 29 inches.
29.
This is great, awesome, best day ever. 33. So the problem is we used contractors that also worked with our neighbor, and they knew how to do that kind of coaster. These coasters, the top plate was smaller than the bottom plate, so they never thought to check both plates. Anyway, we got on the phone with the manufacturer. My father ended up having to cut 12 of them because we caught it pretty early. As soon as they put like the first caps on, we're like, wait a second, this looks small. And we caught it early, so we only had 12 of them that had to be modified. But they were modified in accordance with the manufacturer, and we finished. We got it done. Family gets it done. Our contractor didn't believe it was necessary to torque the bottom of the anchor bolts, didn't want to put the anchor bolts together. So me and my brother got together, and we torqued 8,000 anchor bolts in like 4 days.
Oh my God.
So the two of us just knocked it all out with mats, which was a real pain in the ass. Our contractor who was pouring the foundations and our third-party surveyor found that the anchor bolts weren't going to line up on 95% of our foundations. So you see this yellow is our base plate for the columns. This pink part, this one would have just made it, but you can see some of them, no, sorry, try again. So that would have been more delays. Anyway, long story short, we caught it, we went back and forth. It took 3 months to get this right, but not one missed. They were all perfect in the end, because we didn't want to have a rough coaster. Again, we were supposed to start construction in September. By the time the permits got done, because the city of New York wanted to know, well, you're 60 feet, you have a building permit with no elevators. New York City code requires elevators in buildings like it's a roller coaster. Well, where's the parking for your tenants? It's a roller coaster. 4 months to get that straightened out. So we didn't break ground until February instead of September because of one permit. And then we had delays. The Suez Canal was being blocked. A lot of our shipping was just, it was crazy. It was nuts. But long story short, we were 21 days late, even after 6 months of delays. And here's a station. Because again, everything had to be elevated because we don't want to. When we had Hurricane Sandy, everything got flooded out. So if we have another Hurricane Sandy, this ride can open tomorrow. We were getting track in. We were still arguing with our contractor about setting half the anchor bolts because we didn't think they were in the proper position, and half the site was still a hole, without any rebar or anything done. So you can see when I play this time lapse that we start putting the coaster together here while we're still planning for a coaster here. It's going up before we even pour the concrete on one side. But and that's one thing I want to tell all of you is when you really put your mind to something, even somebody like me can get it done. So any of you can get it done. As long as you really believe in yourself and have confidence in yourself, you find a way. Somewhere between what's humanly possible and what is impossible but needs to get done, there's a middle there where you get things done. So that's how we put it all together. So when we were building this, because of all of you, I begged Macomb, I was like, can you guys get like a Bermuda Blitz model or a Wildcat model in here? Like even if we took all our rides out, like can you, like the Leg coaster, have you guys seen that one? I wanted that so bad. I think I got on my knees and begged them, like, can you modify it and fit it? Like even if we move this and swoop it under, we just didn't have the space. If we had the space, yeah, absolutely. Or what I think is really coming of age now is a dark ride coaster combo. If I had unlimited money, I'd be Fly with a dark ride intro, and I would really hit hard if we had the space for something like that. I think Coney Island could use something like that. I think that would kind of be a game changer for our area. But we don't have the space. We have 1.3 acres?
They're doing door prizes right now, and I got picked as like the first group. I was able to get a freaking Steel Force banner. This is like something they hang up on like the light posts there. I can't believe this. This is so big and such a cool collectible, in addition to my Mr. Six thing I have over there. And then they also mentioned that they're going to be giving out a bunch of free stuff at the end, and I'll make sure to go over that at the end of the video. But yeah, this is freaking sick.
All right. So our next presenter is another first-time presenter for Eastcoaster, so please give a warm welcome to Ryan from Dorney Park.
Greetings, thank you so much. I'm really new to the industry. I started at Dorney Park February of last year, and I'm just kind of been getting my feet wet. I gotta thank Mike too. He's been great with me and been a good partner. We're already planning out your event for May, clowning around because everybody loves Alfundo, right? Alfundo's not creepy at all. Raise your hand if you made it out to Dorney Park last year. Thank you. We really appreciate it. But this is a drone shoot that we did recently. Just something that I thought you guys would enjoy. Do you want me to sing along to it, Nate? There's some cool ditties, Dorney Park and Wild Water Kingdom back in the early 90s. It's like 2 parks, 1 price, and it's all about Wild Water Kingdom. Who's a big fan of Hydra? It's like a lot of Hydra fans. I like it. It's very inaudible. That's okay, they get the point. You guys love Dorney Park, right? It is our 140th season, believe it or not. So our 140th operating season. We're not going to go big because we just know we're going to be around for 150, and we're going all out for that. So what's the buzz? What do you guys want to talk about today? I already know. So I'm going to tell you that I am going to perform what I call the art of telling you nothing while talking about nothing. Wink emoji, right? So there is something going on. Reverend Cliff Herring already got me on a cue. You might as well be up here. It's our biggest fan, and I love Cliff, so round of applause for Cliff. Our first ever season pass holder, and when I started at the park, Cliff was adamant that he came to meet me. We had a great time together walking around Thunderhawk, and I love seeing Cliff every time. We have good chats. As I said, the buzz for this year, coaster news. The big coaster news is that Thunderhawk was constructed in 1923. I do have something at the end for you, however. It's not going to be as exciting as maybe you think it is right now. We have exciting events lined up for 2023. Big fan of Grand Carnival. I sweat a lot in July when we have that event. Last year was 16 days long. We're planning to have the same stretch this year. It's going to start July 22nd. We're going to have our July 4th fireworks, which shoot off behind Possessed. And we have our food truck rally set for August. Love Halloween Haunt. I don't know if anybody made it out to Halloween Haunt this year, but we had some new entertainment this year. We had some new attractions and zones. It's a vibe. Mike, I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about this yet. I hope I'm not stealing your thunder. But we are going to do clowning around at Dorney Park again this year. Tentatively scheduled for, I'm going to say tentatively because I didn't get Mike's approval to include this. Although he did look at my PowerPoint, he didn't say anything. So Saturday, May 20th, we're going to do ERT Thunderhawk. I included that for Cliff, the Reverend. Possessed and Monster this year, but I am going to get you behind the scenes for photography of Steel Force and Thunderhawk. So there's a nice little area in between. It's an inland area. It's got nice grass, so don't tear it up. And we're gonna let you take photos and video there. And then I'm gonna sneak some of you behind Demon Drop, Possessed. I don't know why we'd want to go back there. And Hydra. What's happening at Dorney Park? I got the question mark outside the wave. That's not great. So we're doing a lot of maintenance at Dorney Park. That's probably a video there. But hiring week is this week, so if you see me kind of scatterbrained, we've got a rehire event today. We've got about 1,000 people coming in. A lot of them are high school and college age. We want to get them in here. Thunderhawk, you might have seen some photos on social media. We're doing track maintenance right now. The carousel horses are being repainted by hand. That's always really exciting. We've got some big dining upgrades and improvements that we're working on for 2023, and we're preparing for future projects. No comment. Oh, so I guess everybody's seen it. It's just a bathroom. It's 162-footish tall bathroom. I'm sorry, I don't know Christopher, but I love this comment there. He's gonna do it at 161 feet in the air. Yeah, so I know you've all seen this. I'm not an idiot. I'm told not to talk about it, but I know who I'm talking to. So I think we can kind of address the clown in the room. That's me, but we can also address the elephant in the room. So yeah, there are plans. And the corporate line from me is we're always excited and we're always trying to find ways to improve the experience at Dorney Park and Wild Water Kingdom. We've been here for generations and will continue to be. We are committed to the Lehigh Valley and providing immersive experiences. That being said, we cannot talk about what could potentially happen in 2024. That was my bid. When we talked about making a major investment, I said I wanted Al Fundo in that empty Stinger lot. Mike Fainall, our old general manager, a lot of you know Mike, agreed that would have been a great idea. Some other ideas there, of course, the porta potty, 160 foot tall. And this has been the running joke for Dorney Park, we're gonna RMC a park bench. Yeah, we put a lot of those in every year. Actually, last year, one of the biggest things was we upgraded all our trash cans. Super exciting. I asked if I should put that on social media, and they said, please don't do that. But yeah, we're more than happy to take questions. Yes, sir.
Hypothetically, if you're going to build a churro stand, would you build it out of wood or steel?
See what you did there. Well, I would love to just build a churro stand out of churros. I mean, that'd be very exciting. Oh man, no comment. No comment. I will just say that we have something that is wooden at our park that we love, and we will not, anytime soon, be RMCing Thunderhawk. Quit asking. We're not doing it. It's not happening. Hercules, on the other hand, I guess you guys would have a question about that, and I would just say that I don't know. Background on Al Fundo. Well, where's Cliff? I feel like Cliff should just give the background on Al Fundo. You want to do it? Cliff, you should be a part of my presentation anyway, but who remembers I wish I had a photo of creepy Al Fundo from like the 70s. We had a costume of Al Fundo, which apparently exists somewhere, and I'm not kidding. It's horrifying. And there's pictures of him at like a children's birthday party, but we like the new adaptation. Is it? Do you have it? So Cliff has a ton of our stuff in his basement. And he keeps saying, you want to do it?
You know, you let these kids in here. How many times I've invited you over to the Dorney Park Museum in my house?
4 times.
4 times at least. How many times have you been there? None.
No comment.
Okay, no comment. Yeah. And is it true that the new ride's going to be called Cliff's Coaster?
If I had any naming rights, I would certainly throw in Cliff's Coaster for any ride that would be planned in the future. Yes.
Well, anyway, you asked about Al Fundo. Al Fundo was a clown that became the park mascot in about the 40s. And in the old entrance, you used to go into where the employee parking lot is now. Al Fundo was over the coaster and the bumper car entrance. There was a walk-around costume. I have the heads from both the 40s and the 60s. Al Fundo in my house. If you want to see it, come on over. There's no charge. Although there is a metal detector.
I will say that we're looking to make changes, so I don't know how many Haunt fans there are. I understand that is, it's a different community entirely, sort of. But Enigma is likely going to get an overhaul as a result of things that I can't talk about. I will say, I think the coolest thing for me is Possessed had a real struggle at the beginning of the season last year, to the point where I'm a big self-deprecating humor kind of person. I buried it on social media, but it's had a pleasant bounce back, and we're excited to see that it has a future at Dorney Park. So it's not going anywhere.
Possessed.
Yes. Well, that's another story entirely. So it comes up every off season. So there's a couple of different things associated with that. One is that the manufacturer doesn't really support the ride anymore. That's a challenge. 2 is that the part that we need, we'd have to steal from Valley Fair, which I'd be happy to do. But their ride runs pretty well. We did have to take a number. What was that? Oh, Possessed. I'm sorry, I should repeat her question. She asked about the holding brake, and whether that was a priority or if we had plans to fix that in some capacity. And I just, it's a conversation every year. Yes, Wildcats Revenge hoodie right in the front there.
Okay. So, about the clown in the room, from what
Yes.
I've seen and heard about
It's
it.
the elephant in the room, I'm the clown.
That's right.
Elephant.
Yes.
I've heard that it might be something big and massive, particularly those two initials, big and massive.
I see.
Kind
I
of
see
like
what
how,
you did there.
kind of like how at King's Dominion they had something really more coming. Is this gonna be something big and massive?
No comment.
We'll figure out the planning meeting, right?
Possibly. You may figure out fairly soon, I'm fairly certain. Thank you so much, everybody. Really appreciate it. Hope to see you at the park this year.
And to let you know on all the great things they're doing at Great Coasters International is one of their engineers, Nathan Bonowitz. Thank you.
Well, I'm Nathan Bonowitz. As was mentioned, I'm fairly new with Great Coasters. I've been there for 4 weeks now. So that being said, there might be a lot of no comments. But I'll try to answer questions as best as I can at the end of the presentation. Oh, somebody has a clicker. Who has the clicker?
Oh my god.
He almost left it.
We are working with Arnold's Park to repair the Legend. We're currently on our last repair of that ride. We have rebuilt most of the structure and track over the past several years, and we have rebuilt their first drop. Our largest project for this year, which will be opening hopefully sometime spring 2023, is the Zambezi Zinger. We have worked with Skyline, our sister company down in Florida, on the design for this ride. And we believe it to be a very, very different attraction in that it is our first attraction to not only have a lot of Titan track, but to have a spiral lift hill consisting entirely of our new Titan track. And this was all possible due to the fact that our Titan track allows for tighter turns and clearances and such. That being said, on the Titan track itself, it's not it for drive system. It uses a very unique drive system. It uses booster wheels, and because of the height of 74 feet over the previous MBZ Zinger, which I believe was 57 feet tall, it's going to have over 100 booster wheels, which is going to take a lot of adjusting, for sure. And we're also currently working with Dollywood to repair Thunderhead. It'll be their last repair, and we're installing new track to ledger connections, which are the elements that we create to connect the track to the ledgers for the ride, as well as adding IPE to the track, also known as Ipe. For those of you who don't know, Ipe is a type of Brazilian lumber, which we like to use on a lot of our wooden coaster projects. There is a chain that we work with who likes to use Ipe on a lot of their wooden coasters, even just on the top two stacks, or top 2 layers of the 8-layer stack. It's extremely useful in terms of the properties. It's about 3 times as dense as normal southern yellow pine, and as such, it helps maintain the life of the track, as well as prevent the track steel itself from embedding into the wood over the life of the coaster. So about our new trains, the Infinity Flyers, I have a picture of a concept up there, which was originally for Zambezi Zinger, and obviously that was not the final concept. The final concept can be shown in the bottom picture there. That's a show car that we had at IAPA this past November. These Infinity Flyer trains are a step above our Millennium Flyer trains in a lot of ways. For one, they're capable of tighter turns, crests, and valleys. And they're also, they're designed to be extremely modular, meaning that we can configure these trains pretty easily to adapt to launches, various lift chain geometry, and other brake and launch systems. That being said, does anybody have any questions?
I have a question.
Sure, you want to
Okay,
go?
is the tight track, is that pre-bent and then you install it on the coaster, or is it bent in the field?
I believe you mentioned if it was pre-bent on site or whether or not we pre-bent it at our GCI facility. The time track, it's composed of multiple steel plates, which are all pre-bent at our facility, and essentially the time track, like other steel tracks, are shipped to the site already pre-bent and assembled at our facility. I believe you had a question.
Yeah.
The black.
So if and when the Infinity Flyers become more like mainstream, are you guys planning on retiring the Millennium Flyers?
We have no plans of retiring the Millennium Flyers anytime soon. Both products are well received, and we continue to sell these products, and we are very happy with the how they perform, and we'd like to continue to offer them.
All right, without any further ado, please give a warm welcome for a good friend of Ace, Pete Owens from Dollywood.
Good morning, everybody. I know I'm between you and lunch, so we'll move pretty quickly. I've got some videos to show you, and as we go, if you got a question, just for sense of time, you can throw out a question while I'm going through the presentation, and that way we don't have to hold for questions at the end. But like everybody else has started with, thanks. You guys have visited the park a lot last year and the last 2 years, and you continue to be huge supporters for us. Dollywood and Hershey is a pretty cool place to work. I've worked for the company now for, this will be my 24th season, and we introduced a program called Grow You earlier in 2021 that basically means that if you go to work for us, from the first day that you start, you have the opportunity to go to college or finish high school or to get a certificate program, and we'll pay for it. And it's really providing us the opportunity with us building dorms on property to provide kind of a college experience for kids that are interested in hospitality. We also announced a little ride that we're building that'll open this spring called Big Bear Mountain. For us, it is Wildwood Grove Phase 2. So when we opened Wildwood Grove in 2019, an area the Golden Tickets have named Best Children's Area for the last 2 years, we knew it needed to get bigger, and we knew we needed to broaden the scope a little bit on families. And so we've created a pretty cool ride that we'll look at in just a second. And then we did a little movie. Dolly came to us in about February of last year and said, hey, my producer friends and I would like to do a Christmas movie. So in the month of, at the end of July, all the way through the month of August, we shot at Dollywood, 19 days. Had a lot of guest stars that you can see on that poster that were there, and it's a lot of fun. A little schmaltzy, but it was a TV movie, and 25 million people watched it. So a pretty nice commercial for Dollywood and a nice showcase for some songs for Dolly. So worked out really, really nicely for us. I think most of you have seen some of the videos and the information that we've sent through. 2 tunnels in this ride. One of them takes you behind a waterfall. And this is really all about searching for this mythical big bear in the Great Smoky Mountains that has been seen in and around Wildwood Grove. This is a big ride. I mean, it is a big ride. It entirely wraps around Wildwood Grove. And you can see it's a beautiful UT orange. And you can see just kind of looking back toward through the plaza. You're going to get an opportunity to walk under it. If you come to Con this year, the headquarters for Con is going to be on the back side of Big Bear, so you'll have an opportunity to see some things up and close and personal for that. but it's really a beautiful ride. Not long ago, placed the last piece of track, as you see going in here, and there's a lot of work going on right now because it's a 3-launch coaster. So between supply chain things and getting everything here that we need for the launch systems, and the number of electricians we have that are working on those LEM motors, it's a pretty busy place up there, and we've had 31 days of rain, so it's been pretty interesting. But most of you probably saw this placement on social media, but it was pretty thrilling for us. As I said, 4,000 feet of track, 3 launches, onboard audio in which you'll be part of the story of trying to find Big Bear, working with Ned Oakley, who is the naturalist in Wildwood Grove, who is obsessed with Big Bear. I was going to show you a couple of quick commercials just so you can see how we're promoting it. If you watch the Dolly Miley New Year's Eve special, you might have seen this spot because it was we produced it for to make sure that we got it on that show. But this is Big Bear.
I don't get why everyone is looking for me. This attention on bear just being a bear. Like I can get a manicure. I was clearing my throat. It's going to be even harder to find on this ride. You hear that, Ned? Join the search at Big Bear Mountain. Dollywood's new ride coming this spring.
So there's a companion spot to that. So with Big Bear and the Witness Protection Program, you have Ned, who's a little too CSI. So you'll see this.
Thanks, Sylvia.
Thanks, Sylvia board.
Discover our biggest adventure yet, a 2-minute thrill ride over 4,000 feet of track. Big Bear Mountain coming this spring to Dollywood.
Dollywood, love every moment.
So kind of fun. So we're having a little bit of fun with it, but it is, and then there's another kind of longer piece that I won't play for you that you'll be able to see online that kind of takes it out a little bit further. The difference between this and Dreammore is more than half the rooms have balconies, and really the location. It's off in its own little cove, and it's really going to be a cool experience. We also have a large groups facility that's attached to this. It's a little over 25,000 square feet of group space, and that's something Dreammore didn't have. But this entire center section you're seeing there is all pool and family activity zone, and then that area right down here at the bottom is the group's facility. We'll go through and I'll show you this will fly through so you can get an idea of where we are. This hotel is we're expecting to start taking reservations sometime in June with it opening in October. But a really nice facility. And one we're super excited about because we'll have, at that point, we'll have 600 rooms between the two hotels, and that means we'll have somewhere in the neighborhood of 600,000 or 700,000 people staying with us through the season. So we're at 12:30, which is, I think, your lunchtime. But while everybody is mustering to do that, if you've got other questions, hit me. Yes, sir.
Are you gonna put in any kind of a different transportation from the hotels to the park?
It'll be trolleys. So we've expanded our trolley fleet. We have doubled the size of the trolley fleet. What's different at Hartsong than at Dreammore is that Hartsong actually has a trolley lobby. So there'll be a transportation hub that is there, and that will make things a little less congested at the Port of Shore.
Would Dolly make an appearance at CoasterCon?
I think she'll probably, you'll see her, I don't know if it'll be in person or on video, but you might have seen there's been a ton of press about her rock album that she's doing. And she is absolutely, she's just slammed. And so I'm trying to, I got her to come for grand opening. We're trying to get her in a couple of other times next year. But regardless, we'll figure out a way so that she'll be able to address you guys. And I don't know, we'll see. I'm trying to pull some things together, so there'll be some surprises for Con, but we'll see what her schedule's gonna allow. And the rock album is really cool, by the way. I think that'll do it.
Thank you, Pete.
All done with the first few presentations, and now it's lunchtime. We're entering now what's called the Coaster Cafe. This is actually where employees eat when they're working here at Hersheypark. So yeah, this should be interesting. It's like an all-you-can-eat thing in here. This is what the inside of the Coasters Cafe is. So we're in line right now. The line stretches all the way over here. Food's over there, and then we'll find a place to sit and eat. But gotta say, for an employee area, it's quite nice. Here's the food. Similar food to CocoCon, where they kind of had barbecue style stuff. So there's potatoes, there's chicken, there's cheeseburger, just some offerings. There's also some dessert up there. There's like ice cream that I might have later. We'll see. Yeah, so I'm pretty hungry actually, so I'm gonna dig in and enjoy this meal, and then we'll eventually make it back into the Music Box Theater to go over the rest of the presentations. All back now from the meal. It was all right, but came back in here, just chilled for a bit. Actually, for the silent auction, I decided to put down $20 for the Maury's Piers wheel, which I didn't tell you about.
What was it?
$20 for Maury's Piers Wild Mouse wheel, which seemed fair to me.
I think I got my goodies so far.
Yeah.
Not this shirt. This shirt I took off because it's too hot in here.
Yeah, it's nice and toasty. But yeah, presentation should be starting again shortly, starting off first with Ace.
So in total, we had 5 events in 2022. On Saturday, May 21st was Sunny Days with Ace at Sesame Place. Saturday the 23rd of July, that was Ace Flies with the Phoenix at Knoebels. Saturday, August 20th was Climbing Around at Dorney Park. Saturday, September 24th, CocoCon here at Hersheypark. And then we wrapped it up with Mayhem at Wonderland at Dutch Wonderland on Sunday, September 25th. In total, between all of those events, we had 546 attendees, which is fantastic. Thank you all very much for if you came. We appreciate it. That is significantly better than the 100 some odd that we had in 2021, but it was a weird year anyway. Let's talk about 2023. First up, like Ryan had mentioned before, Climbing Around at Dorney Park is going to be returning in 2023. It'll be on Saturday, May 20th, and we'll have morning ERT on the Thunderhawk and Possessed and Monster, which will be a lot of fun. We'll have a catered lunch. The whack-a-mole contest will be back again this year. And we'll also have the photo walkbacks that we're working with the park on. Some really unique photo opportunities that if you did some of the tours at CoasterCon last year, or excuse me, in 2021, these will be completely different, all new experiences that you haven't done before. And then also some ITOTs, and registration for that is expected to open up in March. We're just working on some final details for pricing. Overall, the pricing should be either at or slightly below what it was last year. Next up, the return of Ace Flies with the Phoenix at Knoebels. So we're going to start off the morning just before the park opens with 1 hour of ERT on Twister.
Nice.
Also during the ERT, the Water Cup Challenge will be back. If you do not know what the Water Cup Challenge is, basically attendees were able to pre-register for this special activity, and they had a red solo cup that was filled with a very specific amount of water, and they had to ride the drop tower 5 times. So you would ride it, you would get off, get back in line, ride it, get off, get back in line, ride it, get off, get back in it 5 times. And somehow Greg only missed 0.1 ounce of water. Yeah. So again, I'm poking holes. So once the Water Cup Challenge is over, the Stratosphere Tower will be part of the ERT session, so you'll have basically 2 rides there. In the evening, we'll have 1 hour ERT on Phoenix. Again, the Water Cup Challenge will be back. Your ticket will include the $20 Grove Grub Card, which will be, again, available for any food location in the entire park. You also have the option to purchase and include a $20 ticket book within your registration if you choose and you just want to enjoy the park and not only have to worry about riding ERT. Again, you have that option. We're trying to work with some behind the scenes tours. It's a kind of a delicate balance of trying to find the right thing with the amount of people that we were expecting to get. We're looking, last year we got over 170 people for the event, so 170 people going through a small space is a little bit more difficult. So we're working with the park on seeing if there's anything that we can be offered for that, and then also ITOTs. And registration is expected to open in May for that.
Hey, oh.
That's a good looking logo, don't you think? So,
yes.
Let's put a little asterisk next to this guy right here. So the event will be on Saturday, September 9th. We've moved it up because we've heard some feedback, because when we did it last year, it was during the second weekend of Dark Nights, and there was also a very popular concert group that was there that night, so the park was very busy. So we moved it up past Dark Nights, and we're in between Labor Day and the beginning of Dark Nights on that weekend that falls in between the two. There is a concert that night, however, it's a concert more geared towards, I don't want to call them the elderly, but people that enjoy older styles of music. So, the reason why we chose the stage is because, what's that? Oh, Leonard Skinner. Yeah, so I mean, I enjoy Leonard Skinner too.
Free bird.
Free bird, yes. Free bird. So, it's expected, I mean, it's not going to be crazy busy like it was the last time, but it'll probably be a busier day because it's a Saturday in September. You know, it's going to be amazing weather. In regards to this little guy right here, we're working with the park to have ERT on Wildcat's Revenge, if it's open and available to regular customers like you and me and anybody else that comes to Hersheypark that day. If it's closed for maintenance or whatever other reason and it's not available, then we'll provide a substitution for that. I will say that right now, this is not the only thing that we're trying to add to ERT. We're trying to make this event a much larger event than it has been in the past. So this lineup right here will be subject to change because it's February and the event is September and we got a long way to go. But with that being said, there will be a meal and ITOTs, and we're again working with behind the scenes tours. Unfortunately, we couldn't do one last year just because of more of a staffing issue with the Hersheypark. They were kind of really stretched thin when the second weekend of Dark Nights arrived, so we didn't want to put any more burden on them. And so we said, all right, we'll just try again next year. And so registration for it is expected to open in July for that. And then the next day is the return of Mayhem at Wonderland, at Dutch Wonderland. And we're going to include morning ERT on that, delicious catered meal, behind the scenes tour, which you can see Stacy Singer's kids enjoying themselves right here. ITOTS, and then registration is also expected to open about the same time that CocoCon does. And then returning in the winter of 2023 is Merry Acemas. So if you're not familiar with Merry Acemas, the last time we did Merry Acemas was actually here at Hersheypark. It wasn't a huge success, and that's basically why we stopped, because it was more of just an informal event where you could purchase a discounted ticket if you didn't already have a season pass, and you could get a discounted rate and come into the park. No ERTs, no catered meal or anything like that, but what we're trying to do is bring it back in a different form where we'll actually rotate the event through the different parks that are open during the holiday season and have holiday type of style of activities.
Our fifth and I had it all figured out. I forgot what I was going to say. Our fifth and finest female president from Glen Allen, Virginia, Elizabeth Ringus.
Yay!
I don't want to forget to tell y'all that he thinks I have notes. I am so glad to see all these smiling faces here today. How fun is it to come together and see everybody in the middle of winter? Right?
Yeah.
Now, I know we couldn't have any ERT today, but how was that EAT?
Good.
Let's give the Hersheypark crew a huge round of applause. They've been wonderful hosts today. Your ACE update. Who knows what day of the week your ACE update comes? I see a hand in the back. When do you get your ACE update? That's the ACE News. Thank you. I'm going to talk about that too. Wednesday. Who is my Wednesday back there? Raise your hand. All right.
Oh boy.
It pays to participate with me because I really like prizes.
Have to get bigger stores.
Yeah, if you haven't been to an event when I was the Mid-Atlantic Regional Rep, I was obsessed with door prizes. So I'm carrying on with that tradition. It is our 45th anniversary. Can you believe we've been around 45 years? Fantastic. And this is our logo that you will see this year on some merchandise. You'll see it on social media. And we have some special events, contests, and lots of things happening around the 45th anniversary. If you have an idea how you'd like to see us celebrate, let me know. CoasterCon. So, we are going to have a great time. We have a beautiful logo designed by Rachel King. And I have to give a shout out to Mike Mattress for taking care of organizing the CoasterCon contest. You'll see all the other entries featured during the business meeting of all the other submissions, which were amazing. Everything this year was great. World's largest ride comes back June 16th, so mark your calendar. We'd love to have you participate at your local park or one on your way to CoasterCon. And back this year is Preservation Con. We will be heading to New York City for Preservation Con. We will be having so much fun. We're going to visit Ride Playland, Adventureland, Luna Park and Coney Island, and of course, Deno's Wonderwheel, as you heard about from DJ today. They are so excited to host us. Details will be out later in the spring to early summer on that, as the events team right now is focusing on CoasterCon. And speaking of CoasterCon, registration for that details will be coming out mid-month. The final pricing is being wrapped up in the next couple weeks. That's literally why we don't have more information, is we're working on final pricing. And then the goal is to open registration in March. So those will be coming out soon. Drop me an email anytime. You have an idea, you have a question, you're confused. I'm here. I am here to really truly enjoy leading this group and bring what I can in my skill set to leave ACE better than where I came to it. So it's something that's special to me, and I want to help you leave your mark and enjoy your club too. All right, thank you everybody.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Mr. JJ Jeff Faleco from Six Flags Fiesta, Texas.
Good afternoon. How is everyone?
Yeah.
Filled up on lunch, ready for some fun. Let's hear one more huge round of applause for our great host of Hersheypark. So it's been a great day at the sweetest place on earth with some of the sweetest people on earth. Not counting Brian Knoebels, he's a little... All right, perfect. So, to get things kicked off, big hello from both Jeffrey Siebert and Chris Ozemic. They wish they could be here. Chris is on vacation. Jeffrey is busy working in a park that is actually having Mardi Gras right now. The parade will kick off in about an hour, but we'll get to all that fun. But first, I promised Chris that I would give one quick shameless plug for our friends at Six Flags Over Texas. Just imagine dramatic audio. The audio worked back in 2019 when this started. There it is, Aquaman Power Wave coming to Six Flags Over Texas. Stay tuned, the actual, legit, factual opening date will be announced for that very, 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 very soon. So stay tuned to all their social channels, and I'm sure Chris will shout it from the rooftops when it actually happens. So believe it or not, the iconic Iron Rattler is celebrating 10 years this year. Can you believe that? It's already 10 years old as the new Iron Rattler, but it really just highlights a decade of thrills for us. In the last 10 years, we've had 17 new rides and attractions, 5 new coasters, including 4 brand new prototypes. How many people know about Blimpie? Does anyone here know what happened to Blimpie? Well, neither do we. Blimpie was a part of our announcement, and then Blimpie disappeared into the universe and has never been since. So the fun does not stop. We have park enhancements to rides, new attractions, a whole barrage of new things just for this year. And this is only the stuff that I can tell you about. And the majority of these things, keep in mind, will happen between now and July. So there's a whole lot jam-packed into what is essentially the first, not even 7 months of the year at this point. So just a quick look by the numbers, you're gonna see 40 park benches, 75 rocking chairs, over 100 loungers in the water park, umbrellas, tables, trash cans, and that's just this year. That doesn't account for anything we've done in years past with more shade, more flowers. And let's be honest, Six Flags Fiesta Texas was already a pretty beautiful park to begin with. So this is only gonna make a great experience even better. Oh, our beloved Spasberg clock. So this is not necessarily a new addition to the park, but it becomes necessary to make it new when a maintenance truck backs over the old one. So luckily, our guests loved it enough, and it's an iconic part of Spasberg that we ordered the brand new clock. We installed a beautiful planter around it, so it's a little more durable, place for guests to sit when the park's open. But the thing that amuses me most about this clock, is there anyone in here that can't tell me what time it is? Raise your hand if you don't know what time it is. So you can all read an analog clock, because that seems to be the biggest challenge for our younger guests. So much so that one of our admission supervisors called me vintage for wearing an actual wristwatch. So nothing like that to make you feel old. Also, something very unique in the amusement park setting and very, very cool for Six Flags. Not a whole lot of details to talk about on this yet because it's still all coming together, but we're getting into the e-gaming world with a esports venue. It's actually gonna be right below the VIP lounge. So we have a huge partner coming in to help us with this. And if you are into anything esports, this will be a state-of-the-art facility with the newest, most modern equipment and amenities. So much so that this space alone where you're gaming can also be simulcast to our Zaragoza theater. So we can have folks sitting in a theater watching game competitions in addition to the e-gaming space itself. Coaster enhancements, what's going on with some of our rides? Iron Rattler is getting a brand new 3rd train. No more single train operation ever. No one likes one train operation. And it was at the point where during the winter months, we had one down for maintenance, kept one train running, never again. Once we get the 3rd train fully in and operational, will consistently be 2 trains year-round, which is a huge win for Six Flags Fiesta Texas. Also, our beloved Boomerang ride. New trains, new restraints, new ride control system, new brakes. The ride just got a paint job. The Boomerang is going to come back to life after spring break. Basically, is a brand new coaster. It's going to be a great ride experience. We're very, very excited for this one. Of course, Wonder Woman, 3 new and improved trains, new control system, easier to maintain. It was a great experience before. Now it'll be a more reliable, even greater experience for Wonder Woman Golden Lasso Coaster. But wait, there's more.
We're not done. There's a lot more for 2023, actually. Whitewater Bay is becoming Hurricane Harbor San Antonio.
Yeah.
I know, isn't that exciting? It's probably the most exciting thing I have to mention all day. Moving on. It's also getting a new collection of kids' rides in our water park area. How many people have been to our water park? Raise your hand. Did any of you go to our kids' area? Probably not, because it was way up the stairs of death. On like a 1,000-degree day, you gotta go up, I don't know, 800, 900 stairs, whatever it is, all the way to the kids' area. So we're rethinking all of that and adding not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but 6, what is technically 6 new kids attractions up there. Even though it says 7, I think we're technically counting these 2 as 1 since they raced, but however you want to define it, a whole bunch of fun for the kids coming to Hurricane Harbor San Antonio. There's even more for the little kids and the entire family. We're taking our kids area and rebranding it to Thrill Seeker Park, which is going to revitalize that entire area, give it a fresh new look with a few new attractions, but also refreshing everything that currently exists there. We have this play structure in the center, which will be getting a complete makeover. Rambling Road was one of the kids' attractions that was rethemed and redone this past year. Of course, we have Streamliner Coaster, which is already looking brand new and awesome, and also included in some of our ERT for ACE events already. So if you don't have that coaster credit, it's an easy way to grab it. Bucking Bronco is our kids' little drop tower, getting a new theme, new name, new look. Sky Searcher, these used to be little, like little pieces of fruit, like one was a strawberry, one was, I don't know, a grape or something else. But now it's actually gonna make more sense. They're gonna be little parachutes. The entire theme of Thrill Seeker Park and kind of the adventure modes of travel motif, if you will, filling it all in with even stunt pilots, which we've done this ride, believe it or not, for ACRT once, and I rode this with several of you folks, and it was a lot more fun than I thought it was gonna be. It was actually pretty cool to include it for an ERT, something different. New restrooms, new food stands, new amenities throughout the entire area. And that's just that side of the kids area. We gotta go to the other side now where there is more fun under construction. Our bumper cars, unfortunately, are no more. They're going, nearly gone, and these things happen in no time. Let's put these things anywhere. But what are we making space for? Well, that's only what we're going to call it for a couple more weeks, because big news is on the horizon. But we are excited to introduce the world's first single-rail family racing coaster. But first, I'm going to make you watch the demo, because who doesn't love a little demo? It's kind of cool watching Skyscreamer go up and down next to it. But that building went down in no time, and it's you can see, well, let's just go into the good stuff. All right, this has much more exciting music to it, I promise. But you can see that the track itself features the Aurora lighting package. So those are basically LED panels on the top and sides of the track that will illuminate it in a variety of pre-programmed patterns or themes. We could even get to the point, hypothetically, down the line where you're saying, "Happy birthday, Cliff!" and it's riding in front of you on the course of the ride for a nominal fee, of course, but price is TBD. But so this is on one side of our kids area, and all those other new refreshes and attractions we talked about are on the other. So as far as family attractions go, that really is one of our main focuses this year, something for the adults, the younger thrill seekers, everything in the middle, so that families can enjoy this ride together thanks to our friends from Skyline Attractions. We genuinely appreciate each one of you, and I think our volunteers, they're gonna hand out a few things. One huge round of applause for the volunteers here today. Awesome work. You'll see whenever you get these envelopes, of course, there are 2 important things in this envelope. And I think are they in the back or are we passing them out? Okay, so we'll get those out to you, but you have 2 things. The first is your free ticket to Six Flags Fiesta Texas, valid anytime in 2023. And you also have a collection of one-time use flash passes, so when you come to the park, you don't have to wait in line for any of our thrilling coasters.
Wow.
At least once.
I gotta get to San
I don't have to wait
Antonio.
the second time, but we'll see. Just call Jeffrey every day, and I'm sure he'll... Don't tell him I said that.
And to tell us what's going on at their place, Sesame Place is Megan Passero and Gabriel Doretta.
Yeah. Yeah, Gabe.
Hi. Wow, that's going to be fun to follow up. Nice little kids area with a sketty bowl coaster. I'm all for it. Hi, my name's Gabriel. I am the social media manager.
That's my job.
That's your job, I saw it, sorry. Social media manager for Sesame Place, and this is...
I'm Megan, the PR manager at Sesame Place Philadelphia. It's great to meet you all today.
So yeah, we've got a lot to talk about today. We're going to give you a little bit of background on what went on last year for 2022. Definitely an interesting year for us. And then a lot of really fun stuff for 2023. First and foremost, how many of you have been to Sesame Place? Oh, see, that's great. How many of you have been to Sesame Place recently? Okay, we're gonna work on that.
The park opened in 1980 after just 1 year of construction. It was only 3 acres, and it was focused as an educational center mixed with a playground. They termed it the playground of the future.
Sesame Place being, about 30 minutes from Philly and about an hour from New York, really in a great location, very easy to get to. Size-wise, about 17 acres. We have over 25 attractions, a lot of water rides, a couple of coasters, which hopefully all of you have been on, right? Yeah. Oscar's Wacky Taxi. Anyone? All right. But yeah, so we've kind of set the pace for the brand to really bring that excitement and Sesame Street to life. Because of that, we were able to not only open up multiple lands around the country and many of our sister parks, but now the all-new Sesame Place San Diego that just opened up last year, which, in my opinion, looks fantastic. So, some really great stuff that has come out of last year and from the brand, and really bringing, this brand to life for all of our fans.
Bert and Ernie's Splashy Shores will be joining us in summer of 2023. You can expect to splish, splash, spray, and play in this new interactive water adventure. It's a great time for the whole family to chill out, relax, enjoy some shaded seating. And we'll even have an Instagram-worthy photo wall. It's perfect for your Instagram feeds.
Now, here's a sneak peek for you guys. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm gonna tell you a lot. I'm gonna tell you nothing at the same time. We're doing an announcement in the next few weeks. So you're going to get some of this for 2023, which we're saying is gonna be our most splash-tacular season ever. So what does that mean? Well, more water rides, right? Additions to what we've done in the past. So obviously we've got Bert and Ernie, and then some even greater things on top of that unfortunately we can't say yet. But you've got to follow us on social media, on Instagram, Facebook, soon TikTok will be launching, so be on the lookout for that. But yeah, definitely follow us there because we're gonna be announcing all of this stuff for the 2023 season. To further elevate our Sesame Place experience as well, we're going to have a more interactive, more intimate version of our meet and greets. And when I say interactive, it's gonna blow your mind. We'll be announcing again. I wish I could tell you, but I can't. Sorry.
Soon, very soon.
Very soon. We're also bringing out brand new shows. This year we're going to be releasing one of our newest shows. It was just announced and it was amazing. The entertainment VP came into our office, saw the logo for it, and squealed how amazing it was. Like, it was that fantastic. And from what we're hearing and what we're seeing, this show is really bringing what we do on a daily basis with our guests and the shows we bring to the table for them to the next level. And that's where the excitement really comes in. And finally, as the year unfolds, you can expect to see exciting new ways to experience Sesame Street, both with and or without a ticket. And now that's the key phrase right there, with or without a ticket. So be on the lookout for that release.
We're really excited to be able to tell you all of that very soon. And in terms of our roles, what we're really looking to do is connect with people like you, our theme park enthusiasts. We're looking to have more events for our media families, content creators, influencers, and like I said, all of you. We're very excited to meet you, and we're really excited for you to see what we have in store.
So the next presentation is Dutch Wonderland, and I won't be able to film that one, so here is my reaction after just explaining what I saw. Alright, so I know this video is already a few months late, but I thought I'd talk about what Dutch Wonderland announced in this video. So, as you saw, we weren't allowed to film, but they actually announced the teacup ride to us, which they announced probably like a few weeks later on, and then teased things for their upcoming anniversary. They told us about, or I should say teased like an Easter-related event that they later announced as well. And then something I don't think they announced publicly is they're working on redoing the gift shop that's inside. So as you go through Dutch Wonderland, you know you go through a gift shop, that's also how you exit. They're going to be redoing that to make it look much nicer. I did ask them though if they're going to be changing anything on the outside, and they said stay tuned. So that's something cool to look forward to. But anyway, let's get back to the main video and see what other places have to announce.
Is a team that really needs no introduction other than that they're absolutely going to be on time and will not go over whatsoever. And that's going to be Brian, Dick, and Rick Knoebel from Knoebels Amusement Resort.
Yeah.
How's everybody doing? Isn't this great?
Yeah.
Here at Knoebels South. We always have a joke with Hersheypark, all the rumors of Hershey buying Knoebels. So we said, no, we bought Hershey. So we renamed it Knoebels South, of course.
We got a new calendar. This has already been released on our website and social media, but you can see it's a little bit different this year than the last couple of years.
Do you notice the blue color on there?
But there it is. We're going to be open till 9 on Friday and Saturday nights. We're still not at 10 o'clock yet. We're getting closer.
It's everyone has pre-pandemic expectations, and we just can't get there. We can't get back to that 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. yet, but little by little, we're getting more rides open, more games, more food stands, getting more staff, campgrounds back to full capacity. Company picnics are calling. So, and when is Knoebels prettiest? Nighttime.
Night.
There's our calendar dates. You can take a picture because I don't know if this is all up there, Phoenix Fall Fun Fest. So there's that, but also, we were told we couldn't release it yet, but Mike mentioned it earlier. July 22nd is going to be the Ace Day at the park. 29th, my mistake. It was initially the 22nd, but it was moved.
Yep. And of course, that's all right. Yeah. Of course, Phoenix Fall Fun Fest. There'll be morning ERT. There'll be nighttime ERT. So we haven't really talked about. We've been so focused on getting open and some other slides that you're about to see that we haven't really discussed what there'll be ERT at Phoenix Fall Fun Fest, but there will be. Dad makes us work from sun up to sundown, so. No caption neither. Of course, you're following us along on social media. You're learning about what we're doing to Twister. Basically, putting it back after 23 years of it running. Maybe some of that helix changed a little bit. So we are putting it back.
Putting it back as John Fetterman initially designed.
We're excited. Some pre-engineering little tests are showing we're going to take a few seconds off the ride, so it'll be a little bit faster. So for those of you that like that thrill ride, there you go.
But by the way, the last one we're using Amuse Rides out of Idaho, if anybody's interested. But this one on the Phoenix is all in-house.
Yep. It's just simply maintaining. Everybody says, coasters. It's a breathing. It's alive, and you got to stay on top of it. So, 4 consecutive years, Phoenix won Best Wooden Coaster.
Thank you very much.
So we're putting a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into it, so that continues. Hopefully,
Deno, that's the real thing.
that's butter right there.
There's the motorboats. Fantastic little ride that's been around for a long time, but we're not really changing the canals or the boats at all. You can still pretend to be the Ever Given of the Suez Canal. Please don't do that. But we're just it's time to redo the roof. It was reached the end of its life, and so we took it down, and we're going to be redoing the roof and the queue lines. Oh, and a character meet and greet. Yeah, we tried to get this open last year. I think we actually announced it at the last one, but it's going to happen this year. In fact, I was up at the artist shop looking at some of the other work that they're doing. But we finally are going to have a meet and greet station. You can meet Cosmo, Piper, and the rest of the gang. There's Cosmo, Piper, Dexter, and is Creeper going to be there?
Yeah, a little bit of everyone.
So.
The characters get out in the park as much as they can, and of course all the birthday parties. And so many times they're out in the park. You're on one side of the park. You don't get to see them. Our guest services team is always being asked, "Hey, when are the characters coming back out?" Now you can maybe shift some of your day around the characters if you're bringing your kids, your grandkids. So trying to accommodate every guest's needs. We even talk about, we have a new app. I think we know that we rolled out last year. If your push notifications are turned on, we're going to be able to tell you some of those times when the characters are coming out. So yep, June 30th, that ride will be 50. Our entire, we'll say, marketing campaign all summer is going to be all revolved around the haunted house turning 50.
Oh yeah, lots of going on, and we had a lot of meetings already, but you can see that we have some surprises happening. We're going to have themed food. Some of the food is going to last all season long. Some of it's going to be lasting, just the 2 weeks surrounding its birthday.
That's good. Hey.
Out of curiosity, how many people here actually think of Byron Curve as a roller coaster?
Put your hands down.
I know it looks like a duck. It quacks like a duck. But.
So many of you already have, seen the Deno coaster presentation, or when you came to Knoebels last year and Brady Petrovich spoke, about the ride and the entire project. So some of you know the story. We're just gonna go through some of the photos where we're at right now. Oh, this is
that last one, by the way, was in Montreal.
So the concrete pad. If you go, if you're in here in Chocolate Town, you make the hour trip to Knoebels. Most of the frame is there, and the track is all but assembled. So it's, let me continue to go here.
That's what it was about at the time of No Coaster. By the way, the control building on the left, Dick had a big hand in designing. There it is.
Nice.
This was taken Thursday. Okay. We only have one car painted so far, so don't.
Which I don't think it's even going to be that color. we're tinkering. We're
don't take pictures.
Why is that in there? So the unique thing about Knoebels, which everyone loves, is you can't go to another park and walk around in the off season. You come to an event like this and you can see the pictures of some of the behind the scenes. Well, that means we can't hide anything unless we put it in Rick's garage. And he said no. So we were proactive. Yes. So a few years ago when Kennywood was selling, the rumors that they were going to sell their flying coaster, I was very, very interested, and we as a family were interested in the ride. We're going to do a little shout out to Kennywood for maintaining it all those years. And then Jim Shea from Premier Rides, came in, and kudos to he and his entire team, and the kangaroo lives. Woo! So, it's so many people's favorite ride. So we Did you all see the fun fact where Norman Bartlett, and he also designed Flying Turns, and all of these
And the Looper.
right? All of these little fun facts that appear. Dad tells us a story when he went to Kennywood in, was it 55 you bought the flyer, or 65? So he bought the flyer at Kennywood, and it was run by an electric engine, or electric motor, and Kennywood said, look, you bought the ride, you did not buy the electric motor, that stays here.
Or the gearbox.
But he said, he said, but you can have, they said you can have that old propane, that engine. So that Alice Chambers.
Tractor engine.
Well, we've recently learned the engine that powers our flyer once powered the flying coaster at Kennywood.
Oh.
And how cool is that, right? Yeah, that's same serial number.
So yeah, right now it's just in storage. There's no work been done on it, but it's we have it for later.
So for those of you who didn't hear this story, when Gary Slade and Amusement Today reached out to us, maybe mid-August, early August, that our dad was going to be given the Legend Award through the Golden Tickets and all of the voters. And boy, what a special moment. Rick and I had to trick, so we had to send in information about Dad. Our team did a great job putting the whole story together. We had to trick Dad into, hey, we're gonna go up to the food award. We didn't even give Dad a program at the Golden Ticket Awards. Jeannie, she held the program so he couldn't see it. Hey Dad, we have to go up for the food award. And we're behind the scenes, the three of us off to the side, and he started to cry. And proud moment, and he said, I don't know anything about this. So, here he is, starting to cry. Then I start to cry. I look over there, Rick starts to cry. And I'm like, we can't go on stage like this, good grief, right? So, but we went out, and what a touching moment. Rick and I certainly have big shoes to fill, don't we?
How much of the original rocket structure is still there? I think most of all the vertical bends are still there. I know that even during the construction back in '85, I know that we had to replace one of the bends, but I think it was only one bend that was replaced then. But for the most part, all the verticals are the same. None of the track with the ribbon is original.
If you were able to say, where did the flying coaster come from?
We found it.
It was in, and I shame on me for not, I'd have to Google the name of the town, but we picked it up in Ohio. So,
Majestic Manufacturing.
there you go. Yep. We were walking on the trade show floor, and Majestic Manufacturing out of Ohio, like Dad said, they had it to create a ride that they're now selling, and they use this as a pattern. And we said, hey, where's that pattern? Ohio. A couple days later, we drove out to go look at it. So, and we brought it home. So yeah, it came from Ohio.
I do have to give some credit to Brady Petrovich, who is couldn't be here today, but nonetheless, he was the one that started talking to Majestic about that.
One more thing I just want to add. When Pete Owens talked about the Sweet 1926 bus for people to stay, I'm reminded of the fact that when Brian got married and moved out of the house, my wife Barbara put a sign in the front yard, room for rent. So therefore, for an undetermined fee as of yet, you can get to stay in Brian's room at my house.
He just recently opened up his own organization. He has his own new gig One of the things he did fairly recently that you may be aware of are the triple towers at Hersheypark. He was involved with that project. He sold that project, even better. So to tell you more about his company, what he does, and what he plans to do in the future, is his title, Amusement Ride Consultant. He's the CEO and the grand poobah of his company called PB Amusements. Doesn't stand for peanut butter, it stands for Pete Barto.
Yeah.
And by the way, how about a quick hand for actually everyone that was bidding in the auction, silent and live, and for the Knoebels. I mean, who doesn't love Dig? So anyway, my name is my name is Pete Barto. If you don't know me, I've like I said, I've been in the industry quite a few years. Just recently opened up about a year ago my own company called PB Amusement. I've always been a big fan of the amusement industry as a whole, and I didn't want to get just handcuffed into just representing one or two or three companies like a lot of the third-party representatives do. So I have about 18, which keeps me pretty busy. It goes a wide range of products and services, and I wanted to make sure when I came here that I had some interesting stuff to present to you guys, because it's tough to surprise you guys with things, because oftentimes you know more about the rides that we're selling than we do. So I did find a few things I thought that might be of interest, and I'll try to also keep us on some sort of schedule here. Interlink is a log flume manufacturer. They've been around for, actually I think about 30 or 40 years in the industry, but they are out of the UK, and they're trying to break into the market a bit. They just put in 2 water attractions and Lost Island out in Iowa. Thank you. So I figured they had said that they had some really good data on kind of the evolution of the log flume and kind of then where they came into play with the log flume. So for those of you that you know the history or don't know the history, I figured I'm going to go ahead and fly through this rather quickly. So the very first log flumes and where the idea actually came from the Knoebels lumberyard. Dick used to ride the logs down. But actually, seriously though, that's actually how the idea came about. When they were moving logs down the mountains, they built these chutes to shoot the wood down the mountain, and on occasion they would either get log jammed or caught up, or they wanted to make sure that the trough was clear. So sometimes the I guess in this case we'll call it the maintenance team, would hop on the logs themselves and ride down the chutes down to the bottom of the attraction. So somebody along the way, they're actually, the funny part, their name is flume herders. So that's kind of where the evolution of where these things started. Some of the first log flumes, kind of going through dark tunnels, shoot the chutes, all those kind of things. And with that evolution became the evolution of the boats themselves. So in the 1960s, that's really when the modern log flume that we know of really became popular. And it actually started out with Six Flags Over Texas in 1963. So everyone know that? They were one of the first log flumes? Cool, I figured you guys would know that. So a little interesting fact as this is playing, the coal cracker itself, that was one of my very first rides that I ever rode in the industry, and really created a love for not only that, because I was too chicken to ride the Super Duper Looper at the time, so. But it's always had a little special spot in my heart, so when I had an opportunity to work for Interlink and sell log flumes, I was like, this is really cool. So this is obviously one of their more, kiddie log flumes. The next one's going to kind of be the intermediate, kind of the things you've probably seen more often at parks around your area. So it's more like the coal cracker in terms of the seating. You have the middle padding kind of seat there. I guess that's a great term for it. So that's a nice kind of behind the scenes shots I thought you guys might be a little interested in. And again, I mentioned about the conveyor belts as a way of getting the boats up, and you're going to see when we get to the next video where they've kind of taken that to a whole new level in incorporating different ways to move the boats and the type of boats that are out there and able to be used. Because when you can add that side-by-side seating, which is what you're going to see, like maybe you see down at Universal, there's some different things that you're able to accomplish with a quote-unquote log flume due to some balance situations. So it's a good thing. This is the one I want to show you.
The immersive Superflume attraction at Trans Studios Uber is a world's first ride designed in collaboration with SimWorks and branded as Jurassic Island. The immersive Superflume puts a new spin on the traditional log flume ride by incorporating an immersive tunnel in a section of our Superflume ride, as well as other exciting AV elements. This one-of-a-kind ride takes passengers on a prehistoric journey as they climb aboard the 16-seat boats and embark upstream through a tunnel of animatronic dinosaurs and mesmerizing theming. The ride had to be planned meticulously to accommodate the immersive tunnel section of the ride that would play an important role in the storytelling aspect. As riders enter the immersive tunnel, Interlink created a boat locking system which would ensure boats are fixed upon the dynamic motion base, which provides 3 degrees of freedom of movement to the riders. Surrounding them is a 3D film projection on a curved screen that throws them right into the center of the battle royale between 2 ferocious dinosaurs. The media for our tunnel was supplied by Falcon's Creative Group, who produced a custom film and audio that would take visitors on an intense adventure through Jurassic Island. The team at Falcons spent a lot of time researching and planning the media which they would create for the attraction. Their team spent a lot of time learning about how dinosaurs might have looked, how they moved, as well as mapping out how the world they live in would feel, and how it would all flow together with the rest of the ride to make sense. The final result is then further enhanced by the addition of 4D special effects, like wind, water spray, and aromas within the show area. After the immersive tunnel section, riders continue along the water channel before reaching the boat lift, where they are lifted up 12.5 meters to the top, offering a great lookout over the indoor theme park, before plunging straight down, concluding the ride, and taking riders back towards the loading bay.
So it's kind of like combining a log flume and a dark ride, and again, taking it to a new level. Look kind of fun. Who's heard of the company by the name of Cavu? All right. I wish I had a prize, but you can have Brian Knoebels' phone. Any selfies as you want. So the Cavu's did a partnership with KUKA. Everyone knows KUKA, right? The arms, for like Universal and whatnot. A lot of people don't know, they do a lot of work in the retail industry, like Amazon and that kind of stuff, moving boxes around. And when Cavu partnered with them, the idea was to say, hey, we could take this exact same base frame, which here it is right here, and potentially add some seats to it and turn it into a ride attraction. And you see what it can do. It's beyond your normal forward, backwards, left and right. It can make a lot of different unique movements that makes it perfect for a dark ride. The other thing is that it has an obstacle avoidance ability, and it has almost like an AR component to it where it learns what it's doing. So what you do is you set up your dark ride, you drop the vehicle in there, and it learns like a Roomba, the little shop vac kind of, or vacuums. It learns the path on how it's supposed to go, where it's supposed to go, and how to avoid things. So the next slide, this is the thing that I was telling you about that is really interesting. This is something that was only shown at IAAPA to a handful of operators, but they've now kind of launched it out. But this is showing the actual taking that KUKA vehicle, putting the seats on it, and demonstrating the product itself in a unthemed demo unit. So this is the actual demo that they used at IAAPA to show to. Like I said, it wasn't on the trade show floor. It was only for a handful of operators. hopefully we'll have one, in one of our parks here. I'm from Pennsylvania, so I'm hoping we get one in PA. But if not, keep an eye out. If you hear anything about an attraction being built by Cavu, make sure you check it out. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Pete. We originally tried to book Pete last year when he was still with SNS, and then unfortunately we couldn't do the event, so now he's like, here he goes. Something new. Tom Rebby and Janine Rebby Matchers of Philadelphia Toboggan Coasters.
Okay, well, we got a long way to go and a short time to get there, so just like to thank everybody again. Once again, I get invited to Eastcoaster, and it is 30-some years that I've been doing Eastcoaster, so I guess he liked me. He really liked me. Most of you know me, but I just like to point out, if you saw me sitting in the back of the room today with Janine, who happens to be my daughter. We're sitting back there, and just a quick shout out. My much older, 21 months older sister is sitting back there, and my brother-in-law, Jeff, so Denise and Jeff, I invited them to come as my guests, and just to see what lunacy I get involved in, and how you guys react for today. So they've been giggling quite a few times, and they've been snickering other times. So when our parents got divorced, Dad would get us one day every month, and one day he took us to Dorney Park, which we were like, wow, never heard of it, but okay, let's go. Because we grew up in the Mickey Mouse era, and that's our Mecca was Disneyland to us as kids. But anyway, we ended up going to Dorney Park, and we ride the coaster, which is now called the Thunderhawk. And apparently my head is a lot harder than Denise's, because we were riding together, and as we went around a turn, I leaned over and I smacked the side of her head with the top of mine. She started crying. We get off the ride. My dad goes, "What? What's going on?" And he hit me with his head. Well, next thing I know, I'm getting smacked in the back of the head as we walked in the ramp to get out. That was the last time I rode a wooden roller coaster until I was 22 and came to work at Philadelphia Toboggan. In group participation, you were going to read some of the screenshots. Okay? Okay. Yeah, I love the feedback you get. Okay, what do we got next? What's the next one?
Celebrating Tom. Can we give him a round of applause, please? 45 years. We surprised him on his work-iversary, which is September 19th. So that was officially his, I don't know how many days that is, but 45 years with PTC.
And September 19th is also Janine and Mike's wedding anniversary.
Who would have thought?
September 19th is also Talk Like a Pirate Day. Now, I had to give the daddy-daughter speech to 300 guys, 200 guys?
No, only like 160.
160. Do you know how hard it was standing there and not to be going, yeah. Now, this is where you come in as a group participation. Tell us what you read. Go ahead, Yee.
Wild Waves. Hawk.
That was a surprise, and we helped them out. And one train we got back to them, so they had it for the summer. The second one, they said just hold off until we can make sure we need a second train. So the second train's done, is ready to ship out next week. Go.
Six Flags.
Oh, come on, let's go get into it.
The Great American Scream Machine.
It's too many words. The Great American Scream Machine.
Yeah. So they came back for winter overhaul. Next.
Six Flags America, Wild One.
Oh, you are really getting there. Next.
Six Flags America, Roar.
Yes, enthusiasm.
Worlds of Fun, Timberwolf.
Okay.
Dorney Park, Thunderhawk.
Flips Coaster.
Next.
Cedar Point, Blue Streak.
Oh, you guys are getting it now. Shame we're gonna have to go home in 10 minutes now.
Kennywood, Racer.
Yeah, the green ones.
Funtown, Splashtown, Excalibur.
That one had an echo.
That guy in the ground back there, you were off. I could tell.
Adventureland, The Outlaw. Idlewild, Roller Coaster.
Hi, buddy. I can't funny. Or as Ace would say, yes, I've been asked a couple times. 3 weeks ago I was at No Coaster and people asked me there, and I always put a slide in of my buddy Ace, and that picture there my wife likes to refer to as my husband, the horse mumbler. So, this was last summer. We were up in Arcadia, Maine, and that red vest I'm wearing, if I would fall out of my saddle again, within a split second, it would inflate around me like a giant life preserver. Raise your hands if you were at our open house last summer.
2 summers ago.
2 summers ago, yeah. Well,
Time flies.
come on, raise your hand. That's it. Where the hell are the rest of you people?
Potentially not in Ace yet.
Oh, that's true. I'll give you that one. So, is there any? For those of you who were there, you received a pale blue T-shirt with PTC logo on the back, and I've told everybody when we were having lunch that if you wear that shirt and I see you, or you wear it to a park, or you wear it to an event, come up to me.
Oh, regrets.
Well, you're getting old. You don't remember much anyways. So,
I call it the PTC shirt in the wild.
That's right. So if you wear it and I see it, or Janine sees you, just come up to one of us, and there's something special in store. Yes, keys to the gift shop. Still in progress. Anyways, says it all. Now, that's not, you might not think that's funny, but I took this picture 3 weeks ago in Chicago Airport. There's 2 photos up here I took in the Chicago Airport. This is one of them. The next one was sent to us, it was taken in Italy.
The Netherlands.
Netherlands, same difference.
Yeah, I'm sure they feel the same way.
Yeah, it's even 7 times. So, the next one was taken in the Netherlands. Now, get your minds out of the gutter. It's a water fountain. Yes. Yes. It's a water fountain. It's the Netherlands. Come on. Next. Anyway. I don't make this stuff up. I just find it. And I see it and I go, I gotta share this with some other lunatics. I followed this guy home one night. He was going the same road I was. I just thought it was interesting that what people do. So. So I want to know the guy that passed that for ADA device. So, anyway, next. This is a Tesla.
Oh my God.
This is the truth. Next. Hey. Melinda, this is the sign I was telling you about. So you can have that dog there packing a rod. Because no law says he can't.
Oh my God.
This is something I found, and this is one of the slides that we also incorporate into our safety meetings for forklift driving safety. Yeah. Explain that one to the insurance agents. Nobody say the S word out loud. But on September 13th at 5:30 and 10 seconds. Oh. Yeah, remember the last time I was here, we talked about when I was in Italy and driving an Alfa Romero to Giulia. I guess the world comes back and bites you. So I was sitting in my office. This is my car. I got it last January to 22, and it's got 5,400 miles on it as of last September. And here we go. Wait for it.
Yeah, the audio isn't so important.
Oh.
Here it comes.
Oh.
Yeah. So, what's that? Now, you guys are always good with letter writing campaigns. Take note of the address and phone numbers and everything else. I'll send you a prize. You just send me a copy of the letter.
Oh my God.
Yeah, my front left wheel became a wheel chalk between his front rear and rear wheel. So far, there's $23,480 some in damage, and it's still sitting in the auto body lot because you can't. I wish, but you can't get parts. So here's me doing my best, Captain Morgan.
The new train that you designed a while ago, are you gonna?
The 360.
Yeah, whatever. Has anybody ever bought that?
Yes. I had a lot of parts. They're the ones that bought. Then they don't do 360s with it, but when we designed the train and we took it, actually took it up to, and I called Dick Knoebels and I said, after the pleasantries, I said, I need a favor. And he goes, what's that? And he goes, I said, I need to borrow the twister. I have a train, new style train. So he goes, well, we're closed during the week because it was the end of the season. They're only open weekend. I said, sure. So we sneak up there with the cars. They were nice enough. They loaded them on the track. We got them all put together. We ran them. They flew around the track, and we're taking videos, and we got accelerometers, and we're doing all this stuff. And Dick says, I'm going to take it for a ride. And I'm like, and he goes, get out of my way. I want to get over these lap bars. Let me get there. So he goes out on a ride. I think he took 2 rides. When he got off, I was walking up the ramp, and he stopped at me and he says, "That's the worst thing I ever rode in my life. I'd never buy it." And I'm like, all right. So we took the train off the track, and 3 weeks later, we had changed things around. We did it opposite what the engineer told us to do. And then the engineer came along and he's like, it's not even go around the track. Right. Sent it out, ran it out a couple dozen times. After lunch, Dick says, I want to go for a ride. And I'm like, oh man. He got off the train and he comes over to me and he goes, I don't know what yeah, David didn't. But that's the best thing, and I can't believe he made this work in 3 weeks. He said, I would buy this train. I said, it's for sale, mates. It's always great to be here. You guys, you can come, give us a call if you want to come take a tour. For those of you who have not been there at the factory, and parking's free.
We won't let a truck run over your car.
Yeah, right, yeah. All right, good night. Be careful. Go home.
Thank you.
As promised, I got my bag here, so I'm going to talk to you guys about everything that I got during Eastcoaster. So, of course, I got this guy. There we go. Mr. Six Puppet. You guys saw that in the main video already. But I'll show you the other things. Of course, I got the, there we go. First to Ride Tambili button. They gave that out, or Elizabeth Ringus gave that out during the Ace presentation. Here we have the Fiesta Texas thing, which include, I'm going to try and pull this all out. I have this booklet here. Inside the booklet is kind of like an advertisement for the unnamed Pacetti, or Jesus Christ. Paschetti coaster. Now we know it as Kid Flash, but when we went to this event, they didn't have a name for it yet. Inside is our free ticket that's good until the end of the year, as well as one-time Flash passes for all the park's major coasters, and like Daredevil dives on here as well, which is really cool. I should also point out, it might be hard to see on camera, there's like a message to Ace here, and then at the bottom is a signature from Jeffrey Siebert. Here we have a pamphlet for Wildcats Revenge. I'll show you the other side too. So here you have that main picture that they have in like their marketing description here. They have like a QR code down there. Really excited to be riding that later this year. This is really cool. So Dollywood gave us a few things, including this magnet. So it says Bear Track R1. And then I thought this was very funny. Big Bear Mountain Gummy Bears. This is actually something they're going to be selling inside of the gift shops, probably within Wildwood Grove and as you exit the ride, and as well as other places in the park. But I think it's funny. I still haven't eaten them since getting these, but it's cool that the park is going to be selling things like that. Here's the full lanyard that I got, including the Eastcoaster button. Right here, Deno's Wonder Wheel Park gave us this. It looks almost like a gift card. On the back, it says, please enjoy this complimentary ticket to the world famous Wonder Wheel. So this is for a free ride on the Wonder Wheel, which is really cool. Definitely gonna be going to Coney Island this year, and we'll definitely be making sure that I use this up. And then finally, this is something I grabbed at the very last minute. You saw the door prizes that they had in this video. I ended up getting the Steel Force banner, which, hold on, almost forgot about this thing. Oh, it's upside down. Ta-da! I'm being blocked, but I don't care because this thing is awesome. I'm so happy I got this. There we go. That's how it would look like in the park. It's so big, it's taller than me. But as I was saying, during the end of the event, there are a few door prizes left. They said if anyone wants to take another door prize extra, you can go grab it. There was something I was eyeballing when I initially went up to that table, and I noticed it was still there. It's a it's a pamphlet for Busch Gardens The Dark Continent. Now, I don't normally get like brochures or pamphlets from like either places I haven't been or just like older stuff. I usually like to get stuff from when I was at that park. But this is just such a weird freaking thing, in my opinion. It's cool to have. Plus, my dad went to Busch Gardens as a kid, so I guess you could say that this is almost like a map he would have gotten when he went to the park. But yeah, over here we have, very hard to see, Python, right there. Timbuktu, that was the old name of, I think it's called Pantopia, where Falcon's Fury is. And then a very old Adventure Island ad on the back with Busch Entertainment Corporation. So yeah, I thought I'd pick that up just because of how cool it was. But anyway, those were all the things that I got for free during this event, except for Except for this guy. This guy I paid for, but well worth the money in my opinion. But anyway, let's head back to Hersheypark and we'll finish out this video. And that's the end of Eastcoaster. As you can see, we're at Red Robin. We decided to have dinner here after the event. Since the event lasted a little bit longer than we thought, it ended like 45 minutes afterwards.
And the chocolatier was full.
Yeah. But anyway, event was actually much better than I thought it was. I loved all the merch that they had and I showed off to you. In fact, I got a bunch. And the presentations were also pretty solid for the most part, with a few surprise announcements in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't as much announcements as I would expect, but it was really more than that, and I'm really happy with the event, and I'd go again. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, like you said, I mean, I was expecting a bit more kind of smaller announcements, but it's just kind of fun, you know, just see, like, these guys talk about their jobs, especially, like, Dick Knoebels.
Yeah.
Deno, got to see Gabe again.
I mean, we were having a blast. I was laughing a ton at so much that was said today, and it was really fun.
Or just talking with people too. Like I would just talk to random other A's people around me.
If you stayed till the end of this video, thank you so much. I know it's extremely long, but since you stayed this long, I have an exciting announcement to tell you guys. So you saw during my grab bag segment of the video that I got this, which was a free ticket to Six Flags Fiesta Texas, as well as a bunch of one-time flash passes. And I thought, I'm not really sure if I'm gonna be getting to Six Flags Fiesta Texas this year, so why not give this away? So I have a challenge. If I'm able to hit 1,000 followers on Instagram, then I will start a contest in which I will give both the ticket and the one-time flash passes away. So yeah, I'd love to hit that number, and that's a bigger incentive to hit that number. And if I do, I'll be celebrating by giving this away. So I thought I'd tell you guys first, the people who watched till the very end, and look forward, because if I hit 1,000, I'm gonna be explaining the details on how you guys can get this. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please make sure to give it a like. If you really liked it, make sure to subscribe for more content. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at EastCoasterFan. And
you can follow me at Blue Diamond Coasters on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok.
And with that being said, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys later.